What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. You guys know why we do this?
Do we know why we do this?
Yeah, why we do this podcast.
To reach out and touch all things JFW.
Pretty good. I like that. Welcome back, Brother Jim, Brother Dave. How you guys doing this morning?
Good morning, Jam. Morning, everybody.
Good, Jam. Morning, everybody.
I am getting over a cold, or I have a cold, or I don't know.
I think we all do, Jam.
Tired of being sick. I think I caught this cold right up here in this podcast studio, honestly.
I think you did. I didn't get it from Jim.
Well, I'm blaming Ann, so if you're listening to Ann, I'm blaming you.
It started somewhere.
It did. Yeah.
As a reminder, anything you hear on this podcast is not the opinion of JFW. It's just Brother Dave, Brother Jim's, and my opinion.
Man, it just feels weird without SD this morning, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jose.
We got some big shoes to fill, right?
Yeah.
Morning, Super. Miss you here this morning. Enjoy your little camping trip here, buddy.
Yep. Good morning.
Yep, Brother Dave Super Dave printed out a High Road Hauling for us, and Brother Dave reminded me about that, and I brought it up and I gave it to him because, like you said, those are some pretty big shoes to fill.
Literally.
Yeah.
The pressure's on, Dave.
Right.
Dad jokes will be easy this week, though. So, hey, yesterday was Flag Day. Pure coincidence. We had talked about saying the Pledge of Allegiance on our podcast because we love being Americans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So here we go.
Ready?
All right. Yeah, let's do it. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
That felt good, didn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't it, though?
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times when they at the swim meets that we go to for my son, if they don't do the national anthem, and virtually no one sings to the national anthem anymore. And a lot of the meets we go to, it's just the music, there's no words, which I think is really weird. That takes away from the national anthem to me. But anyway, if we don't do any of that, we've been to a lot that they just do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm like, that's pretty cool because almost everyone says that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember being at, if you ever go to the Tanner Gun Show, because I don't go to a lot of sporting events, but I don't go to a lot of gun shows either, but it'll be like 10 a.m. and all of a sudden they start playing the national anthem and the whole thing shuts down.
Right.
And it's just, we talked about Goosebumps earlier.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And there's so many good videos of like these little rock stars singing the national anthem.
Oh, right.
This blind girl, like just all sorts of talent comes out to do that stuff.
Yeah. There's this girl that went to Broomfield High School, graduated last year, the year before, Jam, and oh my goodness, she belted out the national anthem. There's a few YouTube videos of her. I should pull her up and show you sometime. I mean, she just, goosebumps. It's funny at the swim meets because the kids are practicing and they've usually made the announcements, but inevitably there's like 3 kids in the pool. And when the national anthem starts, they just stop where they're at in the pool, treading water, and they put their little hand on their arm while they're out there in the middle of the pool going at it,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, episode 33 had 239 downloads. You guys know what that means?
We broke 10,000 or 1,000?
We're at 10.1 thousand downloads.
Wow.
Thanks, guys, for listening.
Yeah.
That makes
That's
you feel
crazy.
good.
So cool.
Yeah, hopefully everybody's enjoying it or still carries some weight, right?
Yep. As long as we enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough to get going, but once we get to preaching, talking, passion, stuff comes out.
Yep. So
I don't think we've ever had one end the way it felt a couple may have started. You know what I mean? Because it's just, I've said all along, it's kind of tough to get up for that mindset, to be ready.
I'm ready.
You always are, Jim.
But
you're the trigger man.
It's it's so funny because like the ones that I think like sucked, we get a lot of compliments,
right?
On. And the ones I feel like, man, that was a good podcast. It's like crickets,
Kind of makes you wonder. Do you think Sergeant Griniger listens?
I don't know.
After being a guest on,
if you're listening, JR, shoot us an email. Tell us you're a fan.
And hope you're doing well.
Yep.
I know one person who listened to the podcast last week, Carson Collins.
Oh yeah, Carson. Yeah.
Yeah, he made a comment on the podcast. You guys are great. No, he said you guys are the best. Great team, strong team. So thanks, Carson.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you
doing well.
listening.
He wound up in Kansas City.
Kansas somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was going to do a 30-day trial. I think it's been over 30 days, so maybe it's working out. But I know he kept his apartment and stuff up here in case he wanted to come back. But door is open for you too, Carson. If you need to come back, then we'll take you back. So.
And you talked to somebody yesterday, right, that was asking you some trucking questions. You used to work for us.
I did, yeah. He hasn't worked here
listened.
since 2019, so well before any podcasts or anything. And yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys know who Emilio Contreras is?
Contreras? Emilio Contreras?
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably mispronouncing it, but it's too bad you don't because he gave me a dad joke.
Oh.
Yeah. Emilio is actually Amber's 7-year-old son.
Yeah.
And he gave me, well, he didn't give me the dad joke. He told it to Amber and she gave it to me. So.
Yeah.
All right, Emilio, hopefully we win this challenge. What do you call an alligator with a vest on?
Alligator with a vest on.
Oh, I think I know that one.
You got it?
Is it an investigator?
You got it. All right.
That's awesome.
Well,
That's awesome.
Well, I had Rick Gray help me out this week. Did you guys know that I used to be addicted to soap?
Oh, I think I know this one.
No.
But I'm clean now.
Ba-da-ba.
Good one.
Man.
I do have one more though. I thought it was pretty good that I ran across. So thanks, Rick, for that one. But
The twofer.
yeah, a twofer. Yeah, exactly. Do you know how to get a blind person to see?
By boat?
By boat. There you go. Good one, Jeff.
Got your back.
That's funny. Well, the wife and I were looking through some photos this weekend, and God, I don't even remember what year it was, like 2000, 2001, something like that. We were able to score a fast trip to Paris. And she reminded me, do you guys know what the Eiffel Tower and ticks have in common?
Eiffel Tower and ticks.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got
No? Jam? No?
No.
They're both parasites.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we did good without Super
Yeah.
Dave. Because these would have been good dad jokes, and then he tells his, and we're like, oh, we sucked.
Right.
His delivery would have been there.
Yeah,
It's like we all have dad jokes, and then Dave brings the real game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. New teammates, new drivers. We got Steven Padilla, Teddy Hernandez, and Shane Fredrickson all started this week. Welcome to JFW, guys.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Yeah, glad to have you guys.
Celebrations, birthdays. We got John Moore. He had a birthday this week. I heard a lot of. He was being given a hard time. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of shout outs.
And then Dominic Romero, Dustin's son Dominic, he had a birthday. And then also Maria Garcia, a.k.a. Mrs. Perfecto. She had a birthday this week as well.
Yeah, happy
very
birthday,
cool.
everybody.
Yeah.
Anniversaries, we got Potter had 4 years on the 13th.
Wow. Congratulations, Potter.
Scooby, his 1 year anniversary was yesterday. It feels like 7 years. Plus, he's been here. He was here for like 10 years when he did work here before, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then Mike Vasquez, he had his 1 year as well.
Nice. Both
Yep.
newbies. Congrats, you guys.
Yeah.
And
Way
then
to go.
We got one more, Marty Rios, 13 years.
What?
Yeah,
Lucky 13.
nice
Yeah.
job.
Marty, he's a character, you guys. I got a book in the mail kind of as a promotion thing about better leadership and stuff like that, and I showed you guys in the leadership thing, and it just came in the mail, and I'm like, I wonder who this is from, and told everybody about it. When I went back to my office, and here's another book sitting there, and a note on it from Marty said, Jim, here's this book. I thought you'd like it, and I'm like, wow, everybody's like giving me books today. What's going on? Do I need some help and stuff? And it's like everything that you need to know about women. And I'm like, that's a weird book, So I pick it up and I flip it open and all the pages are blank. Like, us men will never figure out, women. Yeah, so it was good. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate that, buddy.
Did you guys, I think I told you my married joke that I heard. There's a comedian, and he's like, just so you know, there's no man in this world that actually wanted to be married. Nobody wakes up one day and says, I'm done making decisions for myself. I want somebody else to do all the thinking for me.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
So funny. Shout outs. We got a lot of shout outs today.
Nice.
Vince Meekins, he wants to give Bob Martin a shout out for helping him with a blown airbag and watching him dump. Andrew Fettner.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, good job, Bob. Andrew Fettner wants to give Ernesto a shout out for being positive and motivated. Can't get too much of that around here. I don't know who gave this shout out. Leroy gets a shout out for being positive all the time. I don't think Uncle Freddie said that, but we'll go.
Was
with
that Mechanic Leroy or
Nah, it's
Powder Leroy?
Leroy Powell Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They both are.
Yeah, both positive guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always a fist bump. Hi, how you doing? All
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was giving Leroy a hard time, but thanks, guys. Rick Colleen wants to give a big shout out to all the mechanics for keeping us running. Without them, we wouldn't be able to make any money,
Boy, isn't that the truth?
right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe it's a little too early here. I don't know where I'd slip it in, but speaking about the mechanics, it's one of the questions on the back. You guys will have to remind me, but Leroy's question about the pre-pass for the bulkers. So remind me, because I shout out to the mechanics when we get there.
Okay.
So,
yeah, absolutely. We had a we've brought the culture meetings back. We took a couple weeks off from that, but we've had some good ones. Ish, he was great.
Yeah.
We had a great one with Kumbe yesterday, and then a really nice one with Austin this morning as well.
Great guys.
Yep. Austin wants to give a shout out to Mike Bortz for training him, Russ Murphy for referring him, and everyone here for giving him a chance.
Yeah, Dave's, all our things that we're doing is to recruit people and things like that. And then Super Dave's hires, and then doing JR and Scooby doing the orientation, and just we've hired seems like superstars, good
Right.
people. We're
Right.
making
Great
a difference around here. Great teammates to add to the group we have here.
Absolutely. Troy Hunt, he hit me up right before we started here. He wants to give a shout out to Gabe Gonzalez, the mechanic.
Oh,
He blew a recap off on Sunday, and Gabe was on the spot and had Troy ready to roll by Monday morning.
wow.
So good
deal.
job, Gabe.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
not
then-
much support on the weekends. That's tough to do.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
we sneak by weekend after weekend.
I think Gabe's finding his stride. He seems like he's fitting in real well down
Yeah.
there, and he's getting stuff done, and
Absolutely.
he's become an asset.
Right.
You know?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
From being in training, which we are forever, right? We'd never stop
Yeah.
learning, but
That's a good point, Jim. I mean, we talk about that so much, but I mean, we always say we don't know it all.
Right.
But that's just another way to put that. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
holy
to,
cow.
to become an asset and to be able to be here by yourself on a Sunday and keep a truck rolling for a Monday, I mean, great job.
Yeah.
You may look at like fixing a tire is no big deal, but somebody had to fix it, or Troy wouldn't have been making money on a Monday, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And still giving up your Sunday, even though everybody takes turns. But
Yeah.
no support for that person either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and, I mean, leave it to Troy for needing something special on a slow day.
He's not high maintenance at all. I don't know if you know this. I mean, you're gonna like this. You guys are gonna like this. Did you guys know anything about the rodeo we're having at the Yard 23? Do you guys? I know you want one, but
Yep.
shout out to Dustin, JR, Casey, Potter, and Jesse, and this is from Troy, for the first of many committee meetings for the Yard 23 first annual truck rodeo this past Sunday at Dirty Dogs. More to come. We welcome inquiries.
Wow,
So-
very cool.
Okay.
Those
Yeah.
guys
yeah.
are taking it serious.
Some good hype, good advertisement to start it
Yeah.
off with,
Yeah,
right?
Do we know where Dirty Dogs is and how much beer gets drank there?
I was going to go there, but yeah, I'm sure.
Dirty Dogs has to be one of those guys' houses, right?
No, I think that's a bar.
Is
Dirty
it?
Dogs.
I don't
Sounds
know.
like one.
You like
We
that.
should have a truck rodeo. Cheers.
Right? Yeah.
Good job, guys. We appreciate the extra effort, and
Yeah.
I think our truck rodeo is going to be quite the thing.
Yeah.
And was
so-
there a possible date for it? Did anybody talk about it?
I thought we landed on April 1st, Jim.
April 1st,
yeah.
Sounds funny, but April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
No joke.
We're going to
Yeah.
do some trucking, huh?
We're going to do some T-Rucking.
It's really April 2nd, but
Is it, Jim? No.
April
April Fool's. It's really April 1st.
oh man.
That's like your third dad joke in a row, man.
I know I'm feeling kind of feisty today.
Must be getting over that cold.
Right.
This is helping. It's taking my mind off it anyway. You know, that's half the battle is not thinking about it.
Right.
So just a reminder, Paco and his wife Lauren, they are part of the Hope for My City outreach event. Bless My Block is the surname, and that's happening in July. We're trying to raise some money. Right now, we've had 2 small donations. Remember, JFW is going to match whatever we raise from the fleet. So, you know, even if $5 or $10, if you want to help out, they would really appreciate it. So,
Yeah, I mean, what a great thing they're trying to do through their church
Yeah.
to help people. You know?
I think it guarantees you a seat in heaven. So, I mean, what's that worth?
Well, I better jump in.
Yeah, we could all use a little bit of a guarantee, right?
I always tell everybody with more than one kid they're going to heaven.
Right? Well, then Paco and Lauren, they're going because they got at least 3.
They have box seats.
Yeah. I mean, Alonzo and Veronica, they got VIP.
Oh, true,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. They don't even have to wait in line.
They
It's
got
just
the full. They got the full Brady brunch. Not per male and female, but the total amount of kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a friend years ago as he started his family. He just loved basketball, and his whole goal was to have a whole basketball team. He was going to have, you know, whether a boy or girl, it didn't matter. He was going to build a basketball team.
Wow.
Was his deal.
Just circling back to their kids, to Veronica and Alonzo's kids. I haven't really met the 2 oldest, but the 4 youngest that were at the truck rodeo, they are good kids.
Yeah.
First of all, they're all really, really beautiful kids, you know, and just well behaved and sweet and caring, and they're doing a good job as parents.
Yeah, just being around Alonzo and Veronica, I mean, they're just good people.
Yeah.
Period. You can tell their kids are going to be great.
Yeah, I can give a shout out to you too for Bella. Seeing her at the party this
nice.
week, yeah, she was so cute, and I had a quick conversation with her about when she got out of school, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last Thursday," and we had this whole conversation, and then I talked to Ace, and Ace is like, "Well, I don't think it was last Thursday, but she she's having that growing up conversation with you." So yeah, great. She was really good.
She actually is doing a lot better with the days and the time.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know all of a sudden, we were talking about do kids learn how to tell time, and then all of a sudden she's on it.
That's
you know
cool.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah, because how old is she, Jam? 7?
she's going to be 8 in August.
8 in August,
Yeah,
okay.
She's
Yeah.
8 going on 17 for sure.
Right.
But she used to call yesterday Lasterday.
Lasterday.
Yeah.
Is that one of those words you're not going to correct her on?
She doesn't do it anymore.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
We do it. We'll call it Lasterday.
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
But I miss a little pipsqueak,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we've talked about it on the podcast, huh, Dave? But the Sam's I can't know.
Yeah, I
I
got
mean,
it.
we still do that once in a while.
yeah, I wasn't even there for that, but I love that so much. I do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I mean, we still do it. Just going. So he's like, what do you think about that? I'm like, I don't know. I can't know.
Too good. Chris Beam, he also just texted right before the podcast. We're starting to haul some loads out of Fairplay, and he wants to remind everybody, when you get on 285, we run channel 19 on the CB radio. I mean, that's it. That's just the international or national CB
Yeah.
channel for truckers is
Yeah.
channel 19, right? So once we jump on 285, we run that channel because there's a lot of other truckers running that, and 285 is pretty dangerous, and we need to know what's going on. And everybody else is on channel 19, so switch off of 23 to 19, and then I'll try to remember to make the bamboo announcement later. But if you don't see one, guys, remind me because people need to know that.
Yeah, good, great info. Yeah, I actually wasn't even aware of that. It makes such perfect sense.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know the guys were doing that and gals.
Yeah, and dispatch, starting back doing that, just like Chris said, there's a lot. Any information on that run would help. That's 2 lanes running at each other at 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
yeah. Summertime, a lot of traffic going up
Yep.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the most dangerous corners. We start getting into. What is it? I'm drawing a blank here. Where's all those accidents on 285? Well, never mind.
Clearly, we're not much help, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's accidents everywhere.
What's
Jam,
the
which is
road that takes you down to Deckers? That.
Oh
corner?
yeah, where the little bars at.
Yeah, we stopped to eat right there.
Yeah, pizza place. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, where the fire was at and all
can't
that.
know.
Yeah, can't know. Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll remember it, Lasterday?
exactly.
Oh man, we're picking up some Willie.
Really?
Anyway, be super careful, guys. I mean, it's another Clear Creek Canyon. It's another Highway 85. It's just a high traffic, high accident
Yeah.
road, you know?
Yeah, don't be distracted. You can't be
Yeah.
messing with your phone.
Yeah.
You can't be grabbing things to eat out of your lunchbox. You got to be heads up.
Yeah, just ask Martinez. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he had it.
That was that flatbed last year, I think, that just
Yeah.
missed him, or had a flatbed hooked to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, who was it? Andrew Martinez had that one car cut him off,
Yeah.
you know, did a barrel roll into
Yeah.
the
The
field.
pickup,
Forgot
was that,
about
the,
that,
was that
yeah.
a pickup that
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, it had a dog in the back, right?
It's just bad
Yeah.
news.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the dog.
Yeah. Luckily, he was okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so last week we were talking about what do we do with a teammate who's not our culture, doesn't follow policy. I asked for suggestions. We got some. Chris Beam, he mentioned we should have a 3-strike rule. 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah.
You know, get a warning, get a written warning, and then you do it again, and you don't work at JFW anymore. Then Vince Meekin's idea was, hey, if they're not being safe, then they shouldn't get a safety bonus. So both good ideas and both things that we've talked about and we take into consideration. So thanks for the feedback, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quick conversation about that. We touched upon that. That's tough in certain situations on how to judge that. Not everything's black and white, and I wish it was in a lot of circumstances.
Right.
I mean,
sure make it easier, wouldn't it?
that gray area. So yeah.
Yeah, my job is so much easier when it's black and white.
Right.
When we got to
Right,
start
yeah.
thinking about it, and yeah.
Yeah, this is the rule. I mean, we just, not to get off in the weeds, but me and you were just talking to Ann, and her one daughter's in the military and teaches school, and right in the handbook it says no pop for the kids, and it's just you can't have pop at lunch. It's just in the handbook rule. There it is. No, can't have it.
Parents sign off on it. Kids
Yeah,
sign
you
off
sign
on it.
the book just like here when you sign stuff. I guess just like anything we do, and she's fighting one parent that brings a pop to her kid every day and just tells them, I'm not going to do it. And you're just like, it's not the
What's
rule.
what's the point of that?
Yeah, it's just frustrating stuff, but a little bit off where you don't understand the point when the pop's not good for him anyway.
Right.
It's not. Might as well bring him a cigarette.
Yeah, and
or
their big,
something.
not only the health aspect, but their big point is the sugar, so the kids don't get hypered up,
Right.
And they can't sit still, and
Right.
I mean that parent is setting that kid up for failure, not success.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to keep bringing. Well, I love my daughter, so I don't mind circling back to her again. But we had this conversation yesterday, and I tease her a lot. She's like, "Dad, can I have dessert?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Because it's not good for you." And she's like, "But it's so good." I'm like, "Yep, it's poisoned your brain to think that your body needs it." You know what I mean? She's like, "Please." I'm like, "Yeah, of course you can have dessert, But yeah, it is not good for you. Sugar's just terrible.
Yeah,
So,
it is a tough.
yep. One thing that we learned in one of the culture meetings is there's still a rumor going on around there that our safety bonuses are tied to Samsara.
Meaning our cameras.
Right. And I don't know where that's come from, but they're not. And I'm not saying if we caught something drastic on the camera that you're not going to be pulled in and your safety bonus is on the line, but
Yeah.
your normal following too close alert or speed alert or you roll through a stop sign or just your normal stuff, that safety score,
Is rolling through a stop sign your normal stuff, Jim?
according to Samsara, you'd be surprised, and
Yeah.
guys.
We just watched some video this morning you showed us that we were surprised at.
Yeah, that wasn't rolling through a stop sign.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
It was distracted driving, period.
Yeah,
And that's
That turned my stomach, and we could address that. Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll have to address it. I mean, it's just that serious. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It just
I mean, really, we're just waiting for this podcast to be over so I could get with Pat and so we could get the ball rolling and figure out what we're going to do. But unacceptable. So
Yeah, I mean, we should just elaborate on it, you guys. We had
Yeah.
a driver that had that was driving distracted.
Yeah.
100% focus on their phone. Now the phone was up on the dash, It was facing forward. They were facing forward, but they were looking at the phone, never looked at the intersection, and blew through a red light. I mean, I'm talking red for 5 seconds, you guys.
Easy. It was red the whole time
Yeah.
the video was up.
watch
I mean,
the video, I
a
counted to
car
5, right,
crossed the intersection in front of them. Thank God it was only one car.
Right.
And they were able to swerve around the car and come back into their lane and not kill anyone at 48 miles an hour
Yeah.
in a 45 mile an hour intersection. And it was just like, it's an OMG moment. I mean, it takes your breath away. It puckers your butt. It is not good. And it is 100% distracted driving.
Yep. That, I mean, pardon my French, but that was fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I
And
mean, if we'd have hit that car and killed anyone in it,
Yeah.
that's vehicular homicide.
vehicular homicide, that driver's life has changed, but not only that driver's life, potentially all the drivers and families that get fed here at JFW.
Absolutely.
That's the big one that we fear. That's the one that makes us nervous when we hear we have had an accident.
You know, and here, I'm sorry. go
It's
ahead.
fine, and to just see that driver had no clue what was going on, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's where the pro of the camera, knock on wood,
Yeah,
we got through it incident free.
Yeah.
We truly did.
Yeah.
But in the past, we would have never known.
Right.
Here we picked up a harsh brake or harsh turn event, and it sent us an email. We captured the video, so we have it. And when we found it, it was like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, how did we miss this?
Right.
And what's cool is now we can use it as a training tool,
coaching.
and
Try
go
to-
back
yeah.
and go over things with this driver because it is unbelievable. So what a great thing for those cameras to be. They're on your side, you guys. Everyone is so. I use that infinite term, everyone. That's like always and never and whatnot. But what I'm getting at is I'm using the term in generality, right? I mean, everyone thinks that camera is against them. Like we just sit back and go, oh, we can tattletale on this guy and tattletale on this guy. And this is exactly what the camera's set up for. Hey, we're taking what could have been a crucial, bad moment in time and making a positive out of it and going, hey, this is a training moment and we're alerted of it and we're aware of it now and we can train on it. Where before it was just like, it's just aftermath. You're picking up the pieces before.
Right.
And to start the subject out, Jam, you said it, and we're trying to make that point that the safety bonus is not tied to the cameras.
Right.
Here's a rumor about that. But this is what we're using the cameras for.
Right.
Is to stop this stuff and coach, not take away your safety bonus.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
if that's what it warrants, that's what it warrants.
Sure.
But again, the following too close, the seat belts, the things we're battling, the speeding, that's to make everybody aware.
Right.
I mean, how, I don't know if we talk about it last week or whatever, just being able to have the knowledge to count, your 4/100ths a second following distance, not under a second.
Right.
That knowledge,
Yeah, so long story short, your safety score does not affect your safety bonus.
Exactly.
Yeah. And will we get to that maybe and use
Maybe.
it? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's going to be, I think, did we mention it to Kumbe yesterday, that could be something like passing the gate.
Right.
We're going to reward a safety score,
Right.
not
Yeah.
discount a safety score.
Yeah.
Let's make it a good thing for the people that are doing it right. Let's
Yeah.
not, we hit the fence one time, let's freak out. Let's reward the people that went past the gate 10,000 times.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. We're interested in that award he got from the previous company he worked for.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
there's definitely some things we could do to recognize the people who are doing it right. But getting back to the cameras and the incident from yesterday, I appreciate you guys making it real positive. But you got to remember, when we're involved in an accident and we pull the video and we see it's not our fault, it feels so good to be able to be exonerated from that. In this case, we have to give up that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could be subpoenaed for it. And then, honestly, if you kill somebody, I want to give that video up because you did that. And it's serious business. So
You make a choice every day. You drive that truck
Yeah.
and you're behind the wheel.
whatever was on your phone was not nearly important as that person who was driving that car that you almost killed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah,
Whether it's music or a text or a video or whatever you were doing with that phone, not good.
Nope.
And, now that we're talking about it, had 2 earbuds in,
Right.
which is illegal.
Yep.
You can't have
hear
both
anything.
ears covered because you can't hear anything.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
would you hear that tire blow out? Would you hear that airbag? Would you hear that
Right?
car honking? Would
Yeah.
you hear the ambulance?
Train horn.
Yeah.
Oh
Train
yeah.
horn,
Emergency vehicles is a perfect point because I
Right.
used to have some cars with some pretty loud stereos, and next thing you know, you got a fire truck on your ass, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm a little bit too loud here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of not to giggle. Do you know how trains hear each other coming? By their engineers.
Oh wow!
Man, the dad jokes just keep coming
Man,
through
he's
this
catching
episode.
up. He's catching up to suit.
Right.
You have improved greatly. I was worried about you. Man.
You were going to kick me off or what?
I was like, this dude don't even have any kids. Listen to these jokes; they're terrible. You are the most improved for sure.
The funny thing is, Dave's kids are older.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's the years of experience.
Ah, there you go.
Right.
Jim's catching
He's
up. though.
become
How
a master.
How old's your oldest?
Oh, we were just talking about it. She is 34.
Okay. Yeah. And then Dave's,
Going to be 34 in July here, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, Dave's aren't in their 40s yet, are they?
One is, I think Jen just turned 40, and
Oh.
Sarah would be.
yeah, close to Danielle. They're
30?
they're close to, yeah.
Are they
Clo-
that?
I
Is
think-
Sarah that close to Danielle?
I think so. 35, somewhere around there. I guess. I'm pretty sure they're pretty
Yeah,
close.
I don't remember how far apart they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much.
Yeah, I think he said Jen just turned 40.
Okay.
I just want to say that because they had a party for her, and Dave's like, "My daughter's 40," and I'm like, "Oh man,
Wow.
congratulations!"
Right?
That's cool. Leroy Powell. He had some feedback after last week's podcast, and it wasn't very positive.
Oh,
He says we need to be more positive. Everything seems so negative all the time.
wow.
I don't know.
I mean, when you're touching on safety, I mean, I've had that conversation with a lot of people. We have that conversation when you're touching on the safety and you're talking about this distracted driving we just spoke about. I don't know how you try to keep it positive, but how do you get the point across on
How serious it is.
yeah, on radio here or
positive.
to anybody if you're standing face to face with them? How do you do that except see the video and not be not that positive? I'm not sure safety is that positive, but
Right.
Leroy, I get it. I get the question. I get the meaning. I'd love to tell dad jokes and be really good at it, but that would be positive. But I'm not. So
Yeah, I don't think the podcast is full of rainbows and unicorns.
It's not, and I know we joke. I mean, we do the expressed opinions, right? But some of the stuff is just, we got to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when we almost hurt somebody or something like that, it's hard to spin it to a positive light.
Right.
We got to be better. So, yeah, but thanks, Leroy, for your negative feedback about being more positive.
Two negatives make a positive. Maybe we'll get to that point, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the batteries are wired in series, right?
Yeah.
Negative
yeah.
to negative, positive to positive. I mean, it's good feedback, though. I mean,
Yeah, don't
know?
stop.
Yeah.
Don't yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
We
not
can't
trying
Yeah, we can't just diss it, right?
Yeah. Not trying to make an excuse for it.
Leroy's I consider Leroy a buddy as well, so I like giving him a hard time.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Leroy, your opinion is definitely welcome. So
Because he's positive, Jam.
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
is.
And when positive people are around negative people, it's detrimental to them.
Yeah, it's weird because both are contagious.
Yes.
Negativity is contagious, and so is positivity.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I hope that low road and that high road, I hope the high road's a little more contagious.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Somebody once told me some people are only happy if you make them mad.
Yeah, or the drama of it. They live in that drama, whether that's being mad or not, but they live in that
Some people love drama.
that churn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drama-free zone here on the podcast. So, hey, getting back to accidents, and this is why we talk about this stuff, right? So, what day was that? The 5th? No,
Tuesday,
Tuesday?
Jam? I don't know the date.
June 14th. So, yesterday?
Yeah. Today's the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday. Wow, man. Wow. So, 6 people died on I-25 yesterday,
Wow.
right? And to me, anytime I hear about somebody dying in a car, it makes me really sad. That's like my biggest fear, is to die in a piece of steel on asphalt. Like, shouldn't happen.
Right.
You know, but the convenience of driving, you know, we do it every day, and we take it for granted that, hey,
Absolutely.
you know what, we could do, 50, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour somewhere in a luxury vehicle and not even feel like you're doing it.
Oh,
you know
absolutely,
what I mean?
Jim.
And get from A to B, without any problems. But yesterday, one accident, there was a 2015 Ford Edge, a 2013 Ford Focus, and a 2021 Mitsubishi Outlander were all in the left lane of northbound I-25, and they slowed for traffic near Highway 66 around 1:30 p.m. I'm reading the KDVR article. A Kenworth semi-truck was also northbound in the left lane when it rear-ended the Ford Edge at an unknown speed, pushing it off the left side of the roadway into the center median. Then the Kenworth rear-ended the Ford Focus, pushing the Focus into the Mitsubishi, right? Here's what makes me sick. All occupants of the Ford Edge were declared dead on scene. A 20-year-old male, a 20-year-old female, a 47-year-old female, a 51-year-old male, and a 3-month-old female. A
That-
3-month-old.
That's got to be 3 generations right there, right, Jam? I mean, don't
Yeah,
you go
you would
with
think it's like
baby, mom and dad,
dad.
grandma, grandpa? I mean,
I would-
the numbers fit for that, right? We're
Exactly.
We're guessing.
It's exactly. You just wiped out an entire family.
Yeah, a
right?
generation, 3 generations of,
Yep.
of family are gone.
They were all from Greeley, so they were going back home to Gillette. Or no,
They were from Gillette, weren't
no,
they?
they were from Gillette. They were going. Exactly.
Yeah, and you just I don't know. There's so many key things there, not to take anything away from the people being killed, but I'm listening to you read that. Why did they have to say it was a Kenworth?
Right.
You know what I mean? They've picked all that thing, and I said it last week on the podcast. We've said it a lot when we're talking about what we look like to people. Well, there was a truck driver in that truck of a Kenworth. Now a Kenworth's got a name, that they killed somebody, and
Right.
it's just bad, and that's just Dave just doing some detective work there. Think it's the whole family.
Right.
Just going back home to Gillette. You're down just visiting, and you're never going back home.
I'm just
never.
sitting here minding my own business.
Yeah, who is picking up the pieces for that family? Who's left?
Right.
And you can't.
Maybe great grandma and grandpa.
Right, you go back to Leroy's comment about keeping it more positive, and I know that's just a comment, but how can we be positive about this?
Right.
How can we? It's impossible.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder on that driver of that truck. Was he distracted? Was he on the phone?
Well, the way they're
he definitely has better vision to see traffic slowing ahead. That's one of the great things when you drive a truck all day, and then you get in your car or whatever, and you're driving home, and you're like, I can't see around this car in front of me. Well, hence the 4 seconds.
yeah.
right?
So here's another article. Right. It's described a semi truck plowed into 3 cars. Then later down there, it says, we're taking numerous witness statements, reviewing video, dash cam footage that anybody may give us. It takes a lot of time. But then they say, why troopers don't believe speed or alcohol were factors in the crash, they are not ruling anything out. That includes distracted driving. So,
Yeah, and look at that other word you read, plow.
loud. Yeah.
When you look at a big tractor or farm tractor plowing a field, he's tearing some shit up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, when we made the news, we were involved in that fatality down on Santa Fe, Jim, where you went down there and helped out Troy. We had a guy step out in front of a truck and commit suicide, and we parked a steer tire on top of him.
Yep.
And killed him. He got his wish. And all the news broadcast was the door of the truck. And back then, it happened to be the one red tractor we had, but we thought it was cool. We put flames around the Peterbilt emblem on the hood, and the news just captured that. And then the whole article was truck kills man,
Right.
right? But they made it look fast because it had the flames,
Right.
the name on the door, and I mean, there we are on the write-up of truck kills man.
Right.
They didn't write the article that says man committed suicide by truck.
Right.
Right? They left all that out. They never rewrote another article. They just slander everything, and that's back to the drama. Can you believe what you read? Can you believe what you hear on the news? You have to be smart enough to decipher everything. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of what Leroy's saying, stay positive.
Well, I have a little piece here. I did look it up when Jam said he threw that in there, and last year was our worst year for deaths on Colorado roads.
Oh, wow.
And since 2002, so 692 people last year in 2021. There was 743 reported in 2002, so second worst in the last, 20 years. But it looks like this year we're only in, thank God, we're only at 187, and that was reported May 4th. So I'm gonna consider that halfway through the year. So obviously, if you do 187 and 187, we're only at 374 for the year. Otherwise, last half of the year is going to be crap or terrible, killing people
Right.
if we're going to tie a record or beat a record. So
Yeah, and usually, Jim, I know it's semantics. I get what you're talking about, May 4th, but we missed the 3-day weekend in those statistics,
Yes.
which those are always higher numbers on the 3-day weekend.
yeah, we have
Right.
July 4th coming up, right? Is that where you're going? Yeah.
Well, I'm just the May 4th date versus like the June 4th date
Right.
to truly get halfway through the year. I wonder how much more those numbers go up with the addition of just that one Memorial Day weekend.
Right, and we have a new holiday this Monday.
Right, Juneteenth, yeah.
So people out celebrating that, which
Right.
is great to celebrate and stuff. But
Right.
are you drinking and driving?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yep. The other thing that happened is 30-year-old motorcyclist from North Glen was killed when he hit an unknown semi-truck and trailer and a 2001 International semi-truck and trailer while traveling northbound. So he actually hit both. Yeah, so Rosario actually witnessed this accident.
Wow.
He called me and asked if I could try to see if we caught it on video. But it happened so quick, he actually saw it in his mirror.
Wow.
Because you could see the motorcycle go by him. He's going southbound. You see the motorcycle go by his camera, and then he looks. You could see him seeing in the mirror and looks, and he actually made the cross sign like
Wow.
he saw it. Yeah. So
Wow.
one of the trucks kept going. The motorcycle rolled, slid into the middle lane, and was run over by the International. The unknown semi did not stop, but the International did.
The guy probably didn't even know.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't know if
Exactly.
you were loaded and
Yeah.
something hit you like
Yeah,
nah.
especially with our roads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two trucks were in the middle and the right lane. This guy was in the left lane. There was reports he was driving aggressively, and then he ended up like pinballing off the both the trailers. Yeah. So
Hey, back to the first accident there. That was northbound I-25 before 66. Mm-hmm. So, every time I go north, that's where it goes from 3 lanes to 2.
And traffic stops up through
It's
there all
always
the
a
time.
backup.
Yeah.
And once you get through that, all hell busts loose and you're back up. Everybody wants to go 80 miles an hour.
Or faster, right?
And then you get to the top of the hill before Berthoud and everybody hits the brakes again. You know what I mean? And that's north and southbound. That, they're trying to widen the highway. That's been a multi-year, not only project, but proposal to try and garner the money for that. And they've gotten a couple of the bridges widened so they can widen the highways. But, that's, don't want to get into political stuff, but that's where, Polis just took $5.6 billion out of the budget
wow.
for our roads and bridges and put it towards green energy for solar and wind.
yeah, so now you're going to hit a bump and your battery's going to fall out of your car.
Yeah, right?
Or a hole. It won't be a bump. It'll be a hole in the road.
Well, I guess I'm confused. Don't electric cars use roads too?
Not that I think. They're going to fly next. That would be the...
It would be better. I
next
could
thing.
understand not fixing the roads if we were going to fly.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
all good with that. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Let's
I'm
have
all in.
runways, not roads.
Yes. Huh.
Could you imagine flying 80,000 pounds?
92. I'm gonna push it.
Yeah, yeah. How come you crashed? Well, I was a little heavy on that load.
By the way, Tony Martinez sent me those articles. So
Yeah, good info, Tony.
yep.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, bad news, but good info to know.
yeah.
Things we need to know.
What's so sad is you could be the best driver in the world. We could talk to our families and try to teach them how to drive, and if they're sitting there stopped and somebody runs over them, there's nothing they could have done
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I mean, the distracted driving we're talking about, and accidents we've had recently, it's not like we have bad drivers.
Right.
It's just that problem of being distracted for that second and an accident happening. It's not malicious. They're not sitting in their truck drinking when the accident happens.
Right.
It's just distracted, or that one time you you don't have your head on a swivel, I guess,
Or take your head out of the game, right?
Yeah, and
Exactly.
And that's the reason you have a CDL. That's the reason we have this podcast. That's the reason we have all this insurance coverage we have and all the rest of the stuff.
Right.
So, yeah.
Is that a good segue on the insurance, Jim? Since you mentioned it, or
Yeah.
we too soon?
No, I don't think we have it in any place else. I was just we try to be transparent on the podcast, and okay, Leroy, this isn't positive either. So it's kind of it's all about money.
Leroy, we're crushing you today, brother.
yeah. I don't know how you can be positive about this, but anyway, so I just wanted to let you guys know, and you guys do a great job, and you helped control the rates from last year to this year because we have minimal amount of accidents and things like that. But we paid $1,036,000 for automobile insurance for the fleet last year. So little number, right, Jam? Not much.
Almost 1.4 million.
Yeah, exactly. And they're looking at we had a 6% basic increase this year on different parts of the insurance. I mean, not to get out in the weeds here, but one of the things that JFW has done and a lot of companies do is you have your normal coverage and then you get an umbrella coverage, and that's just in case you really have something bad happen. You have this umbrella sitting out here for extra coverage. Well, that's a published insurance coverage now, and what people do or lawyers do is if you have an accident and you have $1 million worth of damage, but you have a $2 million umbrella sitting there for just in case, that's published and everybody knows about it. So just so you guys know, then the attorneys sue you for $3 million, sue you for your max coverage. So we've always carried an umbrella for extra insurance, and the insurance companies have found out that everybody's going after the umbrellas. So they went up. What did I tell you, Dave? 20%.
Oh, God,
it was.
it was
We were paying $150,000 for our umbrella. It went to $220,000.
Wow.
Whatever that percentage is.
Yeah, which when you really break out the umbrella, it's extra insurance for our insurance in case something bad happens.
Right.
That's published, so you can go after it.
Yes.
Like it's not that it needed to be a secret, but here it is, so go after it.
Yeah, and by the way, because of the changes in rules and regulations in Colorado, and how long has it been now, Jim? Probably 10 years ago, the way time flies. Any lawsuit that we've been involved in, the driver is sued personally now as well, especially when they're negligent in it.
Yeah, right off the bat.
So like this video that we have of the driver running the red light and almost avoiding the accident, we would be sued. That driver would be sued. I mean, it's just how it happens now. There is no, you might be, you will be. It's part of it.
Yeah, and I probably don't have the verbiage right, but it would be, this lawsuit is against JFW Corporation and so and so and so and so, all listed.
Yes.
They don't miss anybody. They don't leave anything out.
Yeah, usually isn't it just a slash, Jim?
Yeah, it's
like
just like
if I were the driver, it would be David White / JFW Corporation for $3 million.
Yep.
For harmful bodily injury of negligence and yada yada yada.
List all the stuff. Yeah. So just to quickly finish up on the insurance, so we did get renewed. We've got it buttoned down here and stuff, but we did have an increase to $1,095,000. We're up $56,000 for the new year, and that's covering knocking the 6% increase down by 2% to try to get in there. But anyway, what I want to get here is to do that, we had to up our deductible to try to control costs. And like you guys know, if you know anything, about your personal car insurance, you have a $250 deductible, or you have a $500 deductible, or maybe you have a $1,000 deductible. Well, to cover our costs, you guys, we went to carrying a $10,000 deductible.
Per truck.
Per truck. Yeah. So any crash we have, it's $10,000 out of our pockets.
Yep.
And that's just to control costs. So, but here's a positivity. We went with the $10,000. We picked that to help control the costs. But we also believe in you guys, and our safety team and our mechanics keeping our trucks well and dispatch and everything, that we can do that and not have a bunch of crashes. So that $10,000 does not ever come out of any of our pockets.
Right.
And we
hope.
believe in you guys.
Yeah, because we believe in you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many loads do we have to haul to pay for our insurance? I want to know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to break that
Yeah,
down.
good
You know,
question.
it's we were just joking about it yesterday, but it's the same thing as the fuel prices right now, Jim.
Right.
How many loads did we have to haul a year ago compared to what we're having to haul now to pay for our fuel?
Oh man.
Yeah, just it's tough. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at your list here, Jim, and the next item on here. Can we
Perfect segue.
perfect segue, right? Can we state it like it's written, or can we talk about that? Because it's go time, guys. We're in the middle of summer. We need to get the loads. We're busy. This is, make hay when the sun shines. And it seems like I'm sitting here going, okay, we're asking you guys to drive fast. Go get that extra load. Go get that. And we are not. We're just asking to go get that one more load, to be diligent on your time, to be safe, all that kind of stuff. Right, guys?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're being super nice about it. I know you're trying to be positive for Leroy, but yeah, I mean, we need every single load. So when it's the end of the day and we look at a plant, you got to understand, guys. We've all done this job. We've seen a lot of things. We know how it works, right? We've talked about time managing on the podcast before. I think part of the problem we run into is, we have guys doing a really good job on their terms. Right? Okay,
Yeah.
I got here early. I'm going to do a really good job, but I'm going to do it on my terms, and I'm not going to go get that last load, or, I'm going to park at 2:15 at Fry for 30 minutes because then I know I won't have to go get another load, or, I'm going to sweep out my trailer before I tell dispatch that I'm empty, and I'm going to sweep it better than I've ever swept it in my life because
And you didn't sweep it the 5 loads before or 4
Right.
loads before,
and
right?
it's going to take me, what time does it need to take me till to sweep out before I call in? Because then I know I'm just going to go home. Well, guess what, guys? I mean, that's really good for you, and you are a good driver, and you do a good job, but JFW really needed you to go get that load today. We got a night pour at Plant 12, Plant 2's low on rock. We need that extra load, and we need to pay for insurance, and we need to pay for fuel, and we need to pay you, right? So it's just not fair, and sweeping out before you call it in makes no sense, right? You're going to sweep out, then you're going to call in. Well, what if you needed to go get another load, which you did need to do, right? Well, now you got to sweep out again. And if you're hardwired and you really don't need to sweep out anyway. I mean, like I said, we know the game, we know how it works. And I don't want to micromanage stuff, but I feel like, now at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help dispatch and I'm watching. Samsara is awesome. Okay, we got 4 trucks at the Plant 12 hangout area. They don't want to go get another load. Well, you guys need to get another load, I mean, it's just the way it works. Before you know it, the summertime's going to be over, and then we're going to be dealing with snow and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
now's the time to dig deep. Now's the time to get a little uncomfortable. We're not asking you to do anything illegal. We're not asking you to speed. We are asking you to be efficient and go get that last load for the team.
Yeah, and it's not like we're going to be slow in the winter either, Jim.
Right.
It's just we run out of daylight
Right.
or it's cold and the load's freezing and all that other stuff.
Right.
This is when everybody is working. This is when we expect to do that little bit of extra. Right. And that extra isn't sweeping the trailer for 20 minutes when it's a 1-minute job or whatever it might be, And yesterday, trying to keep it positive, Dennis Viscara, he called in and he said, "Well, I'm over here," and something like that, and I think it was Randy that answered him and stuff, and I joked with Randy, and I almost called Dennis, I'm like, "Hey, it's not let's make a deal." That's not JFW's not called that. It's not let's go make a deal. It's let's go get a load so that we can pay for, like you said, Jam, insurance, fuel. How about your PTO program? How about the
Medical benefits.
The paid holidays.
Paid holidays. How about the raise we all got in the beginning of the year?
How about the brand new fleet?
Exactly. I was going to bring that up in the brand new trailers you're pulling, and good tires, and it's
And good people.
Yeah, because to get good people, you got to pay a lot,
Right.
Right.
I mean, how do we continue to keep the night shift and the wash bay and all
Right.
that? We need good people. We
Yeah.
have to keep them around and pay for that.
Yeah, we got 96 trucks and 150 employees.
Right.
The employees that are not in trucks are not revenue drivers.
Yeah.
They're non-production. Like my position, I'm a non-production position.
Yeah.
It costs JFW money to pay me to do my job. I feel my job is necessary, right? Just like Joanne or Ann or Jim and Dave or the shop, right? But we got to be able to pay everybody to keep the place organized and
Right.
the way we run it and have this award-winning culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
that better piece, Jen.
Yeah.
You're making us better.
Exactly. So, I mean, basically, it's a time of the year, guys, where if it's 3 o'clock, just know you're not done,
Yeah.
right? You got time to get to a pit,
That also means everybody must be making fairly good money and pretty comfortable.
right? They don't need that extra load. But it's also why we don't pay hourly, because those guys that are sitting, not wanting to go get that last load, the same guys who would sit and want to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do the math on that too, I mean, I bet we could come up with 5 loads a day. Just 5 loads a day that happens with.
I think that's a
I'm
That's a positive number, Dave, because I think you're low.
I agree. But just 5 days a week, that's 25 loads a week.
Yeah.
4 weeks a month, that's 100 loads a month.
Yeah.
Through June, July, and August, when we should be on fire, that's 300 loads.
Well, we've talked.
We probably missed, right? That helps pay those items, and we talk about your daily driver average all the time. Every culture interview we've been doing, we talked about it on the podcast last week. That one extra load, Jam, you do it in the culture meeting. You didn't do it this morning, but last week, do you remember the math? Because you spit the numbers out pretty fast.
One extra load a day around here, whether it be the morning or the afternoon or whatever. If you're getting 5 loads, if you get 6 loads. If you're getting 6 loads, if you got 7 loads. One extra load a day around here averages out between $10,000 and $13,000 a year. Wow. So if you're making 60 grand and you want to make over 70 grand, get one more load a day.
Yeah, and the killer thing to me was, I've always thought about it when I was driving all the time, is I'm already out there.
Right.
I don't want to sit. I don't want to sweep the truck for 15 minutes. I don't want to sit someplace. I might as well go get another load because I gotta drive the truck anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've done the job. I mean, I remember being tired. I remember wishing this was my happy load, but knowing it's not. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, we're going to push. This is time to push.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're just beating Leroy in the ground with the positivity. I do think everybody needs to be aware of our economy and what's going on.
Right.
It is scary. I mean, the swim meet I was at, we have 2 real estate agents that were there, right? They just listed 6 houses for sale. 1 had been on the market. They listed 5 more. They didn't get a call over the weekend.
Wow.
They were freaking out.
Wow.
Freaking out.
The
right?
market's been hot.
Yeah. United Equipment that we sell our used trucks to, they had the worst May they've had in their history.
Wow.
They still have 23 of our 25 trailers that they bought.
Wow.
Not good. I mean, what fuel and gas is doing to things is, I mean, we've got a looming cement shortage. All the bulkers are aware of this. We may as well lay it out there. We're not going to be able to get cement on Saturdays anymore. We don't know if that means our Saturdays will end on the gravel because we can probably still stock plants.
Right.
But I know Brannon, they're savvy enough. They're not going to deplete their cement usage on Saturdays for FOB
FOBs,
trucks
yeah.
when they have their own internal customers they have to take care of Monday through Friday. So we don't know what that's going to lead to, the rising fuel prices. I'm sorry, the rising food costs, all of that stuff. I'm certainly not after being negative and painting a bleak picture, but I think everybody needs to kind of look around and go, I might need to make a little extra money right now and put it away.
Right.
I might need to kind of pinch my pennies, and if you're not, I hope you're listening to the podcast and going, that's a good point. Maybe I should think of that. Because I guess that's what I have in the back of my head. Like, man, when is the nut going to pop soon, right? Is the ball going to burst? Is the ball going to drop? Or, wow, we can't be oblivious to what's happening.
Well, how can you be happy with what's happening? You enjoy going to the gas pump and paying that kind of money? We don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can you the price of food, and when you want to take out and have a nice evening with your family, and we talked about the cost to go get a meal and what it's costing. I mean, who can be happy no matter what we pay?
Yeah. I don't know of anyone that's been able to lower a price on anything.
Yeah,
Jim.
exactly.
I mean, I don't know
Exactly.
a food cost that's gone down. I don't know any cost that's gone down. I mean, we just got notified our phone bills are going to go up.
Yeah, Verizon, you all should have, if you have a package, that should be everybody's Verizon phones.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in a contract or finishing up a contract, it's with a smartphone, it was what, $2.02 or $2.20 more a month.
Yeah, per line.
Yeah, per line.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something's wrong right now, and we either need to get out and vote and change it, or
I mean, we talk about it all the time, how fuel and trucks are tied to everything.
Yep.
I mean, when we look around this room, for those of you who've been in this room, everything in this room came on a truck.
Yep.
Every single thing. The clothes you're wearing, it came on a truck. The eyeglasses you have on your face came on a truck.
Yep.
Your food you're eating, it came on a truck. Those trucks had to pay for fuel, i.e., the end user, you, are paying for that. There is no business around just like ours. We have to pass that fuel cost on. Otherwise, we would have been out of business 6 months ago. We would have closed our doors 6 months ago if we couldn't pass our fuel costs on. And I guess just because this is the perfect segue for me, you guys, this is where we go back and you know, day one of the new president, January 20th, gas was $2.09 was the national average. $2.09 January 20th. $2.09. I would kill to pay $2.09 gas.
I mean,
right now, right?
I mean, you guys. So Dave. So just not to interrupt Dave, but we just had 2 loads of fuel delivered. It was $60,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
$60,000. It doesn't cost that much at $2.09 a gallon.
Oh, hell
right?
no.
So go
No.
ahead.
Yeah.
Dave. Yeah. Sorry. about
Yeah. So I mean, day one of the new president, he cancels the Keystone Pipeline. Day one.
There's a winning formula.
Right? Let's cancel the pipeline that's going to lower our fuel and gas costs, right? 7 days later, on January 27th, he halts all new gas and oil leases onshore and offshore. That's 25% of the U.S. oil and gas production. 7 days into his presidency, 1 week, right? Fuel prices go up. February 19th, we're not even 30 days in, he rejoins the Paris Climate Agreement that Trump bailed out of because guess what? The United States was the only one paying their portion of it. No one else pays. Right? It's I need to look it up. It's millions upon millions of dollars.
We were the only country paying.
Right?
I
We're
remember
the
that.
only one paying. Right? He's not 30 days into the new presidency. Fuel prices go up. May 7th, 30% of all land off limits to oil and gas.
Wow.
May 30th, May 7th, 30% of all land is off limits to oil and gas use. Fuel prices just went up more. June 1st, halts all drilling in the ANWR section of Alaska. That's a tiny little section up there that produces massive amounts of oil. Fuel prices go up. June 30th, Biden reverses Trump's natural gas regulations. All of our natural gas to heat our homes just went up. Again, more fuel prices up. October 7th, he also reverses the Trump NEPO regulations, which I need to dive into. I can't explain it. I didn't have time to look it up. But again, October 7th, the day he did that, fuel prices jumped like 20 cents. So more fuel prices increase. Here's where you're starting to look at the bigger picture now. October 20th, the U.S. Interior begins the social cost of carbon. Fuel prices continue to go up because our trucks and all of our cars, we put carbon in the air. But our new equipment is virtually so limited on the amount of carbon we put in the air. It's ridiculous. I mean, our trucks that are produced that we're running on the road right now, whether this is true or not, we've been told, and I'm not going to name names here because we're talking about having him on as a guest, but we've been told the carbon we're putting out our exhaust pipe in our trucks here is cleaner than the air intake in California.
Oh, wow.
So,
and that one, we should dig out that pamphlet, Dave, because they showed what back in the 1980s we were tons. One truck
Oh.
would
Yeah.
produce tons of carbon.
Yes.
And we produce like a wheelbarrow full or something was the little pamphlet.
Yeah, it is virtually nothing now. But that's our federal government creating the social cost of carbon. It's a program.
Right.
Right? They're so
That-
fuel prices again increase.
That no other country's doing.
Yep. November 15th, Biden put a moratorium on drilling in Chaco Canyon. So no more drilling in Chaco Canyon. Lowered our costs. So all along, right up until February 24th when Russia invades Ukraine, and we all see a bit of a spike, but the fuel prices had already increased $1 before Russia invaded Ukraine. Then we're all told, well, it's because of Ukraine. It's because of the war in Russia.
Right.
None of our oil was affected by that. It was all affected prior to that, right?
Right.
March 1st, Biden finally releases the oil from the emergency supply that we
Yeah.
had built up. That
Yeah.
Guess who built that up?
Yeah.
The former president, right? Stockpiled all the oil he could get a hold of, knowing that we would go back to using it during COVID, right? During
Right.
the lockdown.
And in your facts, most of that emergency that he released didn't go to the United States, right? Dave,
Right.
do you have that?
I don't have that here on my notes, but
but it went overseas.
yes, that's my understanding.
Sold.
Yes. Yeah.
So we helped other people out.
Exactly.
Nice.
So then March 21st, the SEC proposes anti-oil regulations. How can we have anti-oil regulations? We're approaching $6 a gallon pretty soon.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. This is our government doing this. I know they say all the big oil companies are making millions, and they are. But do you know why? The government is trying to shut them down. They're closing them. They will when I grew up as a kid, it was like, oh, oil's made from dinosaurs. Big oil companies will become dinosaurs. But the problem is we can't do it overnight. This can't happen overnight.
Right.
So the last one I have on the list there is on May 12th, Biden canceled all remaining U.S. lease options. That was out in the Gulf. That was out in the Alaskan Bay. That was everywhere. He canceled all lease options. So basically, he has turned down every possible opportunity to go create
Right.
any more oil.
He
Right.
turned
Right.
the faucet off.
He did. He did single-handedly. So even though the oil companies may be gouging us right now, they're just trying to create a surplus to survive because
Right.
at some point they're going to be screwed. and America can't survive this.
Right.
We cannot survive this. So Leroy, I'm sorry for being negative, buddy, but my God, we need to wake up and look at what's happening here.
Yep.
We have to look at what's happening here.
Yeah, and I know we're all kind of joking about Leroy here, but he set a bar. Let's for this podcast, Leroy set a bar for being positive, and this is the information to lead us to be more positive. Because if we make changes, we can be more positive.
Yes.
And just listening to you, Dave, I'm thinking about what was the 30% of land is only available.
No, he took 30% of the land away.
That was available.
Away. 30% of the United States we can't drill in.
Right? But I was just thinking that and I'm sure there's proponents against it, but I have a lot of oil rigs around where I live, Highway 7. You guys
Yeah.
have all been in that area, I-25. The oil companies aren't doing enough. They throw up a sound barrier wall that you don't hear the stuff, you don't see the stuff.
Right.
There's some truck traffic. They put signs on it. If you'd like to know what's going on here, go to so-and-so what's behind the wall.com.
Right.
And when they tear it down, it is spotless.
Right.
There's not a weed, there's not a piece of trash. There is nothing.
Yeah.
You want to look at what the homeless do.
Right.
To an area.
Right.
But
But we'll gladly pay for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But let's not drill and lower our fuel and oil consumption prices.
Yeah. So, do we need to get back on track,
Oh
moderator?
boy.
No,
Oh
not,
boy.
not at all. Not at all. Did we mention get out and vote?
Wasn't going to go there.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was impactful enough to realize. I mean, you can't tell me big oil is doing this. I mean, they are, but they're forced to.
Right.
Right? What do you do when you're backed in a corner? Anything you can. You do anything you can. Yeah, can they probably lower some prices? Yeah, but why would they when they're forced, their box is being sealed one lid at a. Have you ever closed a cardboard box? You know, with the 4 flaps? They've probably got 3 of the 4 flaps closed on them already.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the country's struggling, you know, and they're going to turn the faucet off like you described, it ain't cool at all.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, and,
We have a way to fix it. We could open that faucet back up. We
Right?
can start drilling again.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and here's one of the things that
And what
we've
does that
learned.
do to the economy?
Right.
What does that
Yeah.
do to people's incomes? What does
Right.
that do to unemployment? What does that do to people being able to go out and spend money?
Right.
Like it's
We are
backwards.
so environmentally conscious, and we have so many EPA rules and regulations. Let me ask you this. Do you guys think when the United States drills an oil well, we do it better, cleaner, safer, and less environmentally impactful than they do in China?
100%.
Don't you think it's a bold statement to say we would do it better than any other country in the world because of our restrictions?
100%.
Yep.
Does pollution have a border?
Nope.
Exactly. Then why the hell aren't we doing it ourselves and providing for our own people?
Yeah, and doing it so much better.
Right?
That was your
We're-
whole point.
Right. We're going to crack down, not allow ourselves to do it when we do it better, cleaner, safer, 100% better all the way around. But we would rather buy it from another country.
That's just ruining the environment
Who's-
there.
Exactly.
That all their pollution ends up here.
Exactly. Does the earth not spin? Is not that shit floating over here?
Right.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, yeah. You can't clean up the USA if you don't clean up the whole rest of the world.
Right.
And we are one of the cleanest countries. You know, I am, man, I want blue skies and green grass for my son, for my kids, for generations to come, but we can't be the only country. People need to wake up and realize, oh my God, why are we not doing this ourselves? It's crazy.
Amen.
Can I get an amen?
Yeah, get out like Dave said, get out and vote. And you mentioned Biden and you mentioned Trump and you mentioned all that. We need good people in those positions to go vote for.
Right.
But to get those people in those positions, we have to go vote for them. We just can't give up and think it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
And we ran across it, you guys, that we had one of the computers out in one of the trucks, one of the single drives. And it's got a certain series motor in it that it takes a different computer that's on the rest of the trucks. And Mike got together and he goes, "Hey, I can have this flown out and repaired." And I don't know. I was in the office there, and Brother Dave's like, "Oh, where do you need to fly it to? What going to overnight it or what?" And Mike's like, "Europe." Right, Dave? We're going to send
England, yeah.
England. We're going to
Europe.
send the computer to England and have it fixed and brought back to the United States. And you guys, I guess that's the reason I feel so passionate about it when we challenge you guys to be better, and let's change our industry because it's something we can control. We have control over that. You have control over yourselves, your driving, your industry, being a trucker. But if we're the greatest country, make United States great again, how come we had to send a computer to England, to Europe? We can't repair a computer in the United States. So what are we?
Well, Jim, you've heard me dog on this for a decade now. I have to be pushing a decade. We are dumb Americans, and we're not allowed to do anything. And you laugh at that, Jim. You've heard, man. You think I'm upset about the oil prices and stuff, man. Here we go. Jim and I have, had the luxury, the privilege, not luxury. We've had the privilege to be taken, to the Freightliner factory, to the Peterbilt factory, to the Kenworth factory, to the Detroit diesel engine factory, right? To Michelin Tire. We've had the privilege of going to these manufacturing facilities and seeing them. And everywhere we go, and to the PACCAR engine factory, everywhere we go, they talk about how they've been doing this in Europe for years. That is their comment everywhere we go.
Everywhere.
You go to Michelin, they build the tire this way. They've been doing it in Europe like that for years.
Well, why have they been doing it in Europe for years?
Because they don't have the restrictions we have.
Amen. There's an amen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because we're not, and again, back to your point, I bet if we did manufacture it here, we would do it better and cleaner than they are doing it someplace else.
Absolutely. The chip factory where we get all our chips, and I don't want to mention
Frito?
percentage
yeah, it's not
numbers.
Doritos, right? We're
Yeah,
not
it's not
talking
Frito-Lay,
Fritos.
right?
Yeah.
I don't want to mention percentages, but I mean whatever percentage for the automobile chips. What do you think that place in India? What was that, like 90%? Don't they make
Yeah, it was-
90% of the world's chips?
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and
Right?
we made like resin that went in the chip.
Yeah. Why do you think they make it over there?
No regulations.
Exactly. I mean, we are just like, we just have our hands around our own neck, just choking ourselves. We're just killing ourselves. Everything we get comes from another country. Everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, our allegiance that we just said our
Yeah.
our liberty and justice is being threatened every day.
It should be, I pledge allegiance to the flag to screw the United States of America to the best of my ability. For one nation.
Not ours.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because they've been doing it like that in Europe for years.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally looked, Jam, the one engineer. It was funny. He was, I don't know, what was his name, Francois or whatever. You could barely understand him from his German dialect or whatever, that he had while we were at the PACCAR facility there. And he's just like, oh, we do it and we buy this from Switzerland because it's better, and we get this from Germany because it's better, and we get this from such and such because it's better. And we've been doing it in Europe like that for years. And I finally looked at him, and I look at all of our salesmen around here now that deal with Jimrai, and I'm like, I do not want to hear they've been doing it in Europe for years ever again, because we are not dumb Americans. We're just restricted.
Right.
We cannot do that. Back to Jim's original point about the computer. We can't have a freaking computer fixed here in the United States. Give me a break. Unbelievable.
Because we have the people that can do it.
Oh my gosh.
We have the greatest people,
Yes.
but again, like you said, restricted.
Yes.
Well,
Moving.
here's
Not
something.
sure what all that had to do with trucking.
Here's something unrestricted. Okay, we are offering.
Only for today
Yeah.
in the next 15 minutes when you hear this podcast.
That's not even a segue. We've just switched gears.
Yeah.
Need to
Yeah.
climb that hill.
I'm not feeling well.
Got to get back on the high road. Thanks for helping us out.
We are offering 2.5% for drivers that want to be a slip seat. So there's a catchy announcement, and here's why. So we've already talked about a PTO program and call-offs and what it takes to keep all the trucks running. We like to stay about plus 15 drivers, and we're at plus 14 right now. Well, there's not a lot of movement in the fleet because our retention's better. Some of our programs are working. So we have guys that want truck assignments, right? And how long is it going to take them? I know one guy's been waiting 8 weeks. Well, it was 8 weeks last week. He's probably waiting 9 weeks now for a truck assignment. So if you are a driver, no matter how long you've been here, that wants to give up your truck assignment for 2.5% more of your base, and that carries over into all your bumps, your Friday and Saturday bump, which makes your gross income bigger, which makes your daily average bigger, which makes your paid holidays bigger, so on and so forth. We'll pay you 32 or 2.5% more. If you are a new hire that is waiting for a truck assignment and you say, you know what, this slip seat's not so bad, I would love to do this for 32.5%. Well, then, hey, that's what we'll pay you.
Yeah.
So think about it, digest it. Let me know if you're interested in that. I think we might have raised an eyebrow the other day with one of our new hires, and I did talk to David Garcia about it, and he thought that might be pretty cool too, because he's back and he's slip seating, and could be a good program.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about it, Jam. I mean, that's like, I'm just going to use you, Chris Beam, as an example. If you wanted to give up your truck, that's 2.5% on top of whatever he's making now because he's been with us so long, right?
Right.
I mean, that's an offer for everybody,
right?
Or the new guy coming on board, just like you said, and programs like this, you guys, because again, we have control of it. It's going to make us great.
Yep.
It's going to make us better. We don't have truck sitting. We've told you over and over how important right now our 14 extra people are to us. Because without that, we don't have a robust PTO program. We don't have good things going on. We can't cover the work when there's call outs and different things. So, you know, we've the leadership team have gotten together. We've asked different people and you know, we're asking for your feedback, see if anybody's interested.
Yep.
Again, you know, the same old words. This will make us better, or hopefully it does.
Yep.
Yeah.
And why offer that 2.5% more? Well, slip seating's not glorious. It's not glamorous at all. You're in
Right.
a different truck a lot. You know, maybe you'll get into, you know, a guy who's off on vacation. Maybe you'll be in the same truck for a week. But in general, sometimes you'll get in a truck that's awesome. Sometimes you'll get in a truck that's not taken care of. You can't leave all your stuff in the truck because you never know what truck you're going to be in. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, and we're willing to pay for that.
Yeah, and that's the the truck might not have fuel in it, especially if the guy calls out sick and you're a slip seater, or
Yep.
you know, you check it and it's low on oil and you have to do that, or you know, you find a flat tire, you know, Monday morning or whatever, but you know, you can still charge us for that because you're here getting the repair. And yeah, you're great way to put it, Jim. It's not glorious, but it's also worth 2.5%.
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially if you grab a backpack and you put all your stuff in where you're mobile and you're easy to change trucks, and
Right.
you got to check the truck out. You check it out. You can be so successful at it.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to give you a little bit of a breakdown, Monday through Thursday, if you're brand new, Monday through Thursday, the truck earns $1,000. You made $300. You'll now make $325. Right? That's $125 more a week.
Well, just Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday. Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah. So $100 Monday through Thursday extra.
right. Excuse me. Monday through Thursday.
Then
$100
Friday,
extra. Right. Exactly.
you,
so
it goes from, so instead of 33, if you just work Friday, it would now be 35 and a half.
right.
Right.
So that would be $350.
Right. And then if you worked Saturday, your Friday just went to 35 and a half. Is that 38 and a half?
Yeah, I thought it was
It would be
40.
41,
Yeah.
40 and a half.
40 and a half. So then what's Saturday?
Oh, I was talking about Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, gotcha.
The 40 and a
What
half.
did that bump Friday to?
Yeah, so
If you work
30,
Saturday.
33, 30.
We should have thought this through clearly.
2.5% more.
Right. Yeah.
30, 37 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it take to add 2.5 to anything?
I just have to
Apparently
joke,
more than the three of us.
Right.
I just have to joke with you though how do you get paid that percentage? Right? By hauling a load, right? I mean, delivering a load.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even though we're bragging about you making 37.5% on Friday,
Right.
you got to go haul the load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
37.5% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, if any of you guys are interested in anything, just let Jam know, right?
Yeah.
You know, pass the
We'll
word.
get you plugged right in.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure we didn't think this all the way through. We tried to in the steering committee meeting. We try to, you know, smoke it out and poke holes through it. And, you know, there's something we didn't think of, but
I'm sure.
we'll deal with it when it comes up.
Chris Beam, let us know what that is.
Yeah. But again, we're trying to do something good, right?
Chris,
We didn't-
Chris Beam's already texted me, and this isn't live.
Chris is like, I'm not giving up my truck.
Right?
Or when do I start? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Good stuff.
Jim, the next item was yours. I mean, it's all of ours, but you brought it up.
What? Oh shoot! What was I talking about? Jam the.
Turning the key, letting the truck cycle.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Jam I was looking farther down the list there. Yeah, you guys. I don't know. I know Mikey's brought it up, and I know the electronics in the truck. We just talked about having a computer repaired, and a couple of times when I've gotten in the truck because I don't drive that much. You know, when I turn the key on, I let that truck cycle, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it takes a long time. Which I don't know. I suppose I should
Time it.
count it 1001, 1002.
It feels
whatever.
like forever, but I bet it's 10 seconds.
It does,
Jim.
right? Yeah, I wanted to say 10 seconds, and
Yeah.
it might be, but what I've noticed is we have a lot of electronic faults in the morning, and I think a lot of guys are just jumping in the trucks, turning that key, you know, want to get going, want to get trucking, want to get to making their percentage, but is not letting the truck cycle. That truck runs a safety check on all the, is it finding the rear end? Is it finding the transmission? Is it finding the speed sensor? Is it finding the, cam sensor? Right, Dave? I mean, it's doing
Absolutely. when it's quiet and you turn the key on, you hear it go through the ABS wheel ends. You hear them click. It goes through the trailer. It goes through the tractor. It goes through the steer axle. And there's even one air valve that actually pops or activates.
And Scooby says it even moves the brake pedal when he's been
Really?
on that final check.
It's got a cool little cadence to it.
Yes.
Yeah, going through it.
Yeah.
So I just trying to bring up, or Mikey and Dave, all of us are trying to bring it up, you guys, that I think you guys aren't doing that in the morning on a lot of the situations, and we think that would help stop a lot of the check engine lights because the truck didn't get a chance to check itself. And where I've really noticed it is when we up here and we're fueling and people jump back in their truck after fueling, it immediately turns over. There is no letting the system check. And, this is a little tip. It's costing you what? Me and Dave just said about 10 seconds, we think. Well, how about when that truck doesn't cycle and gives you a check engine light and you're calling on the radio, or you've lost a load, or that, again, back to that speed thing and time. 10 seconds might gain you, I don't know, 2 loads, half a day's worth of work.
Right.
I don't know, but back to doing our job, doing it well, understanding the equipment you're driving. Earlier in the podcast, when there was a shout out about airbags, we have airbags blow. That happens. It's rubber, it's weight, it's heat, it's getting worked and bounced all day long. They wear out, they get fatigued, all that kind of stuff. But it's a really simple system to understand. But how many of you can block off or understand how to get when you blow an airbag, how to block that airbag off and get the truck back home? How many of you understand about that truck? Or are you just turning that key and driving it? How many of you guys, we just had a conversation this morning, from a manual transmission with a stick to what we call an automatic transmission, which is an automated manual transmission. An AMT is a computer's functioning a manual transmission. Well, Dave, I listened to Dave this morning, Brother Dave. He was like, that transmission, that computer doesn't know you're at Morrison in a foot of water. It's concaved out from, 5 million trucks.
A bowl,
right?
Yeah.
5 million trucks loading in that spot, and it just dropped 28 tons on you in what is it, 21 seconds? What's 32 seconds?
And you have to pull forward up a grade, and it thinks, I can start out in third gear.
Yeah, right. How does it know that? So if you had a manual transmission, you would put it in first, and you would ease the clutch out. You still have a manual transmission, guys. Make the manual transmission do what you want. You're in charge of that ship. Don't run it into the iceberg and sink the Titanic. That's all there is to it. And you guys all know the Titanic, that was because the guy was going to break a record and he wanted to go fast. He was going to prove how fast he could get across there. Speed kills. It sunk the Titanic.
Yeah.
So
I do want to throw something out there, and I'm of the impression you learned it as well, what JR was explaining to us.
Yeah, first thing I knew that. Yeah, thanks.
For years now, we've had these transmissions for, we're pushing 3 years, over 3 years, 4 years, with the 5 Pete's and the 5 Kenworths, the like 30 model there, 37, 35, 36, those trucks we've had for 4 years now almost. But I've always said, hey, just push the button, put it in manual mode, and put it in first gear. And I've always, like when we do the drop and hook, when a truck gets brought in on a wrecker, and we need to get under the trailer real fast or whatever, on manual mode in first gear. JR just taught us something new this morning. You don't need to do any of that. If you just press your gear selector, how you can downshift it or upshift it, up or down to up or downshift. If you just hold it down, it defaults to first gear and puts an L behind it, It locks you in that first gear.
He said definitely
Yeah.
the Kenworth and the Pete's.
Yeah.
Just to throw that out, right?
Yeah.
Which is the same transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea, Dave.
Didn't and end up having L come up there. I mean, I'm thankful for being educated this morning.
Yeah, and then he
Thanks,
said,
JR.
as far as he knew too, it didn't come out until it gets to like 2100
Yeah.
RPM. It
Yeah.
locks you in that gear.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you want to just be in first gear, like pulling away from the sand pile?
Right.
I want to ease away because I know it's soft, but I want that first gear, and I
Yeah.
want it to hold there. I don't want to shift. I don't want to do
And-
anything.
yeah, and how many times has that truck tried to shift?
Right, and then-
because it doesn't know.
Exactly.
Right. That truck doesn't have eyes. It can't see. It's in 2 inches of sand.
Can't know.
Can't know.
Can't know.
Can't know. Yeah, good stuff. So cycle the key, guys. Try to get in that habit. I think it'll help everybody out, especially in the mornings when we're getting all those alerts and stuff. And it's the new thing you have to do with new equipment.
Yeah.
because we have such great new equipment,
New technology.
that have so many great functions.
I just want to throw that out there since we're talking about that with the transmissions and letting the truck cycle and stuff. A friendly reminder when you guys and gals sit at a pit somewhere, do me a favor, put that truck in neutral and set the park brake. Just get in that habit. Put that truck in neutral and set that park brake. Put that truck in neutral and set that park brake.
Yep.
What we're running into is a lot of people, it's just easy. You may go sit in line at the pit and just sit there with your foot on the brake. Well, that is equivalent. That truck still has a clutch. When Jim says, we've coined the phrase automatics. Those are automated manual transmissions. There is a big motor in there that pushes in a giant clutch. That clutch is way bigger than the old clutches we always had. So it's holding that clutch in so the truck doesn't move. That whole time you're sitting there with your foot on the pedal, the minute it electronically senses that, it's like, oh, I got to push the clutch in. So if you sit there for 5 minutes, it's equivalent to sitting at an intersection for 5 minutes with the clutch pushed in and your foot on the brake. No one would ever do that.
Nope.
I mean, if it's going to change quick, you would do that. That was how we all learned to drive, is you didn't want to sit there and push in the clutch. You would watch that intersection light way ahead of time, and you'd always be downshifting and going slower and slower and slower.
Time your lights.
Exactly. Time it and roll on out. So just please, please, please get in the habit. Put that truck in neutral the minute you stop and set the tractor brake. Not the trailer, set the tractor brake. The reason I'm pushing the tractor brake is just in case you forget to put that truck in neutral, just in case, because we just ran into a garage door on one of the night shifts, just ran through one of our red building garage doors because we came up, pulled the pinch valve. Whether we pulled the pinch valve or set the trailer brakes, it makes no difference. Got out of that
It
truck.
drug the trailer.
Yeah, that truck wanted to go, so it engaged and drove off with the urge to move. So right there, if you'd have set the tractor brake and left the truck in drive, that tractor brake overrides that. The truck knows you've told the truck, hey, we're not going anywhere, the truck brakes are set. It's not that it can't move it, it's not trying to move it. It knows, and it defaults and kicks the transmission into neutral. So please, let the truck cycle. Also, anytime you're sitting for, a minute, if you know you're going to sit for a minute, please put that truck in neutral. It's just easier on it.
I like it. I forgot to make this announcement. We just had an email come out. It's going to be titled, Help Make JFW Corp Better. Okay, it's a 4-question survey. Brother Dave, I know you love surveys. It's just to see how you're feeling about your job and how you feel about coming to work
Nice.
every day. So 4 questions. You could just click the boxes, or you could write a little bit in there as well. So it is anonymous.
Thanks, Jim.
It is anonymous, so you could be completely honest. Tell us how you feel.
And try to be honest.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we don't hear it, it's Super Dave was in the breakfast in the restaurant business for a long time before he had his washing business and worked for us. And he always said that and for me too, I agree with it. If you go to a restaurant and you have a bad meal, I want to tell them about the bad meal, not because I'm expecting free, but how does anybody know that it's a bad meal and can fix it if you don't tell somebody?
Right.
It's like writing up your truck. If you don't tell somebody,
That's just such a great analogy of our cameras.
yeah,
The camera is just someone telling us, hey,
we got a problem.
we need to fix this.
Or
right?
somebody's
to be
doing
what?
great.
Yeah. To be what? What does that make us?
Better.
Exactly.
Is that my word?
Yeah, that's your word.
Yeah, I just looked. We've had 22 people, including myself, fill this out already.
Nice.
And it just came out, so I'm pretty happy about that. These are also called pulse surveys. This is something that's going to come out once every 4 weeks. The questions will be a little bit different, but the reason they're so frequent is we want to be ahead of the curve. If something's going on and people aren't happy, we want to know right away. We don't want to wait 6 months or a year to find out there's a problem.
Yeah.
Or I just have to throw this out, Jim, because I feel like we have fought it for so long. It's the rumor mill.
Right.
You know, I'm upset because the cameras take away from my safety bonus. You know, I
Not true.
bull. You know,
Right.
And that's So, and over the years, we've had so many rumors. We're like, what are you even talking about? You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
How'd you even create that?
Yeah, did not come from management.
Absolutely. All right. Questions from the audience. Leroy Powell asks, can we get pre-pass?
I'm sorry to interrupt. He's a popular guy today.
You know, he's been sounding off a lot.
He has
You
been.
know?
Leroy, thanks for being engaged.
Yeah, I love you, Leroy. Good
Yeah,
job,
he's
buddy.
Taking over for Uncle Freddie.
Yeah.
We used to talk about Fred a lot. Fred, you're dead to us. Leroy Powell asks, can we get pre-pass for all the bulkers running out of town since everything's coming out of Laramie and Pueblo? Great question.
Yeah, it is a great question, Jam, and I truly have what I think is a great answer.
No.
But
No?
no, Yeah, sorry, dude. There's the buzzer.
Nope. Good
But,
answer. Good
but
answer.
yeah, you guys. Everything is, Dave just mentioned it. Nothing's simple anymore, you guys. Everything is related to everything, and it's not black and white, and all that kind of stuff. Leroy, me and Dave, we would not mind at all getting a pre-pass, and we had some guys that had pre-passes in their trucks. They also asked me for pre-passes because they went out of town quite a bit. And when we did our audit in the beginning of the year, we got in trouble for more paperwork, and I want to address that too in my when I'm talking about this. But we got in trouble for how we were doing our paperwork from an audit from the FMCSA, and we all spoke about that. Okay, so we had a deadline to get the FMCSA their information. We had a deadline on writing letters and policies and how we were going to handle the stuff that we got in trouble for, like tracking hours and our over the road and doing the electronics. You guys were all here. You know that we addressed those. We got the stuff handled. You know the policy we did. We were better, okay? But this is where it gets into a gray area, and I want you guys all to really listen to this part. So the FMCSA gave us a conditional rating, okay? A conditional rating up to the time we answered with our new policies and our letter.
And this is like, we had to have it in by January, Jim, or was it February?
You're exactly right, Dave.
January 21st or
Yes,
something like
January 21st we had, or 21st, whatever. January is when we had
Yeah.
to answer. We had to stop everything, create policies, correct what we're doing, get everybody on board in 30 days. Okay,
that? And we had it done weeks ahead of time.
Weeks ahead
Turned
of
it
time.
in weeks ahead of time.
and we had it certified mail. We had a signature asked for it to where we had it sent at the FMCSA. The FMCSA located in Colorado here that we deal with. Okay, you guys. So stay with me. So we have a conditional rating
I'm with you.
until we're there, because I just want everybody to hear this. So we answered it ahead of time, had our policies in, everything else.
We were better.
We were better. Crickets from the FMCSA. No answer, no response, no email, no letter, no phone call. When they wanted to do the audit, they were on our shit, basically. They wanted this information. We had a week to get it to them. We had all this. And so I called the gentleman, head of the FMCSA here in the Colorado division, and
Give us a little
reenactment.
reenactment.
Phone call?
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say reanimation, but yeah, reenactment.
Right. So
Ring.
you get this number of the lead guy at the FMCSA. Phone rings. Hello. Huh. Is this Steve? Yeah. Have you guys ever called any place, a business, any place, and got hello? Or did you get Bob's Meat Market at least, or Steve speaking, or
Yeah,
or
I think
Bob
when you call
speaking,
here, you get, "Hi, JFW Trucking. This
Right?
is Linda. Can I help you?"
right? Even if you guys have a message on the phone, you have something more polite than that.
Well,
Sometimes,
so. You'd hope so.
sometimes, right? So anyway, you guys call the guy. He's rude as hell, and his answer to us was, "It's in the pile." I said, "Okay." Trying to make us better. When will we get an answer? When do you think you'll get to that? Well, I guess by you calling, I've moved it to the top of the pile. Well, you guys, you know what month we're in?
yeah, June.
June, we haven't heard a damn thing from him. So just to quickly answer the question, Leroy is with a conditional rating. Pre-pass cancels all our pre-passes. We're not allowed to have a pre-pass because the government that we voted in has done such a shitty job, they can't even answer and do a decent job doing our audit, that we were timely and
Complied.
professional and complied, and we followed everything, but we can't even get a response from our government to take us off conditional so I can help, or we can help you guys be better to save fuel and time
Right.
with pre-pass. So
Less carbon,
less carbon,
Isn't
because
that
we
less
didn't
carbon?
stop and start
Yeah.
and shift gears, right?
right?
But we can't. I mean, such.
I believe they call that bureaucracy.
Yeah,
At
Leroy,
its finest.
buddy, I would love to be positive, but I got a burning sensation in my gut right now. Just mad at Steve.
That's
hello.
funny. Mine's not in my gut.
Wow.
It's a little in the backside.
It's a little lower,
Well,
and it
Chief.
isn't from what I ate.
Well, Chief Dave. You want to hit us with a high road hauling?
Oh, all right. Time to shift gears, huh? Well, I'll do the best I can here to fill in for Super.
No pressure.
Because usually his high road hauling picks me up.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
It's a nice way to end
It is, because I've had some where it's like, he always helps me with the reflection there, the final thoughts.
Right.
It always spurs something for me. So I may kind of not be so good at the final.
This
thoughts.
one may pick me and Jim up.
Okay, I'm hoping for
we're
it.
counting on you.
So Super's high road hauling. What do you notice in people, good or bad? Practicing seeing the good in people. Why? Many interactions these days have a kind of bumper car quality to them. At work, at home, on the telephone, via email. We sort of bounce off of each other while we exchange information, smile or frown, and move on. How often do we actually take the extra few minutes to get a sense of what's inside other people, especially their good qualities? In fact, because of what scientists call the brain's negativity bias, we're most likely to notice the bad qualities in others rather than good ones, the things that worry or annoy us or make us critical. How funny. Jim and I, we just talked about that last night, right?
Huh.
So, unfortunately, if you feel surrounded by lots of bad or, at best, neutral qualities in others and only sprinkling of dimly sensed good ones, then you naturally feel less supported, less safe, and less inclined to be generous or pursue your dreams. Plus, in a circular way, when another person gets the feeling that you don't really see much that's good in her or him, that person is less likely to take the time to see much that's good in you. Seeing the good in others is thus a simple but very powerful way to feel happier and more confident, and to become more loving and more productive in the world. How, you ask? Slow down. Boy, we say that a lot, don't we? Slow down.
Stop.
Step out of the bumper car and spend a few moments being curious about the good qualities in the other person. You are not looking through rose-colored glasses. Instead, you are opening your eyes, taking off the smog-colored glasses of the negativity bias, and seeing what the facts really are. See positive intentions. Recently, I was at the dentist's, and her assistant told me a long story about her electric company. My mouth was full of cotton, and I didn't feel interested. That makes me feel like, but there was no way I could say I don't want to listen to this. But I then started noticing her underlying aims to put me at ease, fill the time until she could pull the cotton out and connect with each other as people. Maybe she could have pursued those aims in better ways, but the aims themselves were positive, which, in true of all fundamental wants, even the methods used to fulfill them have problems. For example, a toddler throwing mashed potatoes wants fun. A teenager dripping with attitude wants higher status. And a mate who avoids housework wants leisure. Try to see the good intentions in the people around you, in particular, sensing the longing to be happy in the heart of every person. See abilities. Going through school, I was very young and therefore routinely, oh my gosh, sorry Dave, I massacred that one, and therefore routinely picked last for teams in PE. Not good for a guy's self-esteem. Then, my first year at college, I gave intramural touch football a try. We had a great quarterback who was too small for college football. After one practice, he told me in passing, "You're good and I'm going to throw to you." I was floored, but this was the beginning of me realizing that I was actually quite a good athlete. His recognition also made me play better, which helped our team. 35 years later, I can still remember his comment. I had no idea of its impact, yet it was a major boost to my sense of worth. In the same way, unseen ripples spread far and wide when we see abilities in others, especially if we acknowledge them openly. See positive character traits. Unless you're surrounded by deadbeats and sociopaths, everyone you know must have many virtues, such as determination, generosity, kindness, patience, energy, grit, honesty, fairness, and compassion. Take a moment to observe virtues in others. You could make a list of virtues in key people in your life, even in people who are challenging for you. I love that. Last and not least, recognize that the good you see in others is also in you. You couldn't see that good if you did not have an inkling of what it was. You, too, have positive intentions, real abilities, and virtues of mind and heart. Those qualities are a fact, and as much of a fact as the chair you're sitting in. Take a moment to let that fact sink in. You don't need a halo to truly be a good person. You are truly a good person. That was a great High Road Holland. And then the quote for the week from Earl Nightingale. Learn to enjoy every minute of your life. Be happy now. Don't wait for something outside of yourself to make you happy in the future. Think how really precious is the time you have to spend, whether it's at work or with your family. Every minute should be enjoyed and savored.
Nice. That was good. Good,
Wasn't that
Chief.
a great one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling
it.
you, those he always gets me with those.
Little life hack if you're having confrontations with somebody and you're getting ready to try to seek conflict resolution, make a list of all the good things about that person before you go into
Great point, Jim.
reach an agreement, because kind of
See the good in them, right?
see the good in them
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to make fun of that, Jim, but I'm trying to see the good in that Steve guy at the FMCSA. But my list is pretty short.
You don't know him well enough to do that. All you know is one bad thing. But
Right.
for example, if I'm not meeting your standards and you want to have a discussion with me about something that I could be doing better, maybe before you do that, list off a couple things. It'll be a short list, but list off a couple good things that I've done.
That's almost the butt conversation sometimes, though, isn't it, Jam? We talk about that all the time. Hey, you're doing a really good job at this,
But
yeah,
it's also the cut and praise. Like,
Right.
hey, you know what? You're awesome at this, but I'm about to cut you open right now because this part, that was not good.
yeah. I still, that just never bothers me. You know what I mean? Because you need that information. And I've never minded the butt or the cut and praise.
Especially with business. I
Yeah.
mean, business should never be personal.
Yep.
You know? So, anyway, final thoughts. We'll give you a rest here for a minute, Dave.
Okay, you guys go.
My final thought for today is just take everything as far as you can. I remember being a youngster and and working for a guy, and you know, he'd be like, "Hey, have you done this yet?" I'd be like, "Well, I don't have everything to do it. I was gonna do it tomorrow." For example, let's say you were gonna change your oil on your car, and you ordered oil filter, and an air filter, and the air filter didn't come in yet. There's no reason to wait to change the oil.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
same thing with getting the loads. Get everything you can today. Don't leave anything on the table. Take it as far as you can, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yeah, truly.
Good point.
Truly. Yeah, absolutely. One of my last notes here, you guys, and a shout out to keep it positive. And we talked about the FMCSA, and we talk about the drivers, and we talk about the mechanics here. I want to mention, and the wash bay and stuff, you guys, and you know what our safety score is and how things affect us and different things like that. So, just some quick stats for you guys. I pulled up, you know, our rating to see if we were still conditional. I check it quite a bit, but what I do find in here, and to me, the numbers don't lie for you guys or for all of us. So, U.S. inspection results for 24 months prior to 6/14/2022. So yesterday was the 14th. We've all decided that, and to go back 24 months. We've had 81 inspections, you guys. 27 of those included a vehicle along with the driver. So under the driver column, there's 81 inspections. Under the vehicle column, there's been 27 inspections on the vehicle. So under the vehicle column here, out of service in the last 24 months, and that's 81 inspections, 27 of those vehicles. Out of service is 0. We've had 0 out of service in the last 24 months.
Nice.
So, you know, whether that's the driver doing a pre-trip, post-trip, shout out. Whether that's the shop catching stuff that the driver possibly didn't, that's a shout out. You know, that's the truck's in great shape. Wash bay, you know, having a clean vehicle. You heard the state patrolman sit right there. That's the first thing he looks at.
First thing.
Is a clean vehicle. So shout out to the wash bay. Okay. National average, you guys. National average. So your fellow truckers out there, 21.41% out of service.
Wow.
And we're 0. We're 0 at JFW. Are we not kicking ass or what?
That's
Right.
awesome.
You know, good stuff. So under the drivers, not quite as good, but we have the goofy stuff. We have the seat belts. You know, we have
Tinted windows.
Tinted windows. I don't know if does that fall under the driver, but anyway, or medical card expired, or not having a driver's license, cruising into the port.
Right.
The things that's driver stuff. Okay, so we've had 2 out of services because of the driver, and I believe that's an expired license or medical card. That's what that falls under. Okay.
And just to clarify, when you say expired license, it's usually because of a medical card.
Right.
Generally, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm making
It's
it
true.
up. We don't have someone that their license expired, you know, September of 21, and they're still driving today, not
Right.
realizing their license is expired.
It's not
Their
like
license has actually almost been canceled. I just want to clarify
Yeah,
that.
expired. That's the wrong word, Dave. You're
Their
right.
license has been pulled or restricted.
Suspended.
Or
That's
suspended.
There's what we're after. Suspended.
Yeah.
Because you can drive right away in a normal vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's-
have your Class C license. You can drive a car anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, it's not like they got a DUI and lost their license.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and they'll be
lost.
driving
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just
suspended is the right word.
Yeah.
Because of something else.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether just it comes up child support or something like that.
Yeah.
But the suspension is usually because of a medical card issue or non-renewal or something
I'm
like
making
that.
a pretty bold statement. I know I'm interrupting your final thoughts, but I just everything is medical card related.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every one of those, unless I'm wrong, every one of those has been medical card related.
You're 100%.
Yeah.
If I've looked it up and I have it
Yeah.
correct, Dave, and we've talked about it,
and,
yes.
and it's even not that you didn't get your medical card.
was not connected correctly.
Exactly. It's here we go right back to our government.
Yeah, bureaucracy.
Exactly. You've gotten your new medical card. You've sent it in to the state of Colorado,
And they didn't link it.
and they didn't link it to your license.
Yep.
8 weeks have gone by, and we just had a case here with one of the guys that it feels as though this generally happens with people that have had several jobs, lived at several locations in the last year or 2 years, and kind of a bit of a beatnik type person.
Yeah, hard to reach medical, by mail.
Yeah, license may have one address, but I've lived at 3 others since that location, or whatever the case may be, right? We just had a guy, he's lived at the same house for 15 years. License matches on his address, on his license matches his house, everything. That's where he's registered. Never got a shred of information that his license had been suspended.
Yep.
Because the state never received his medical card. I was here the day we sent the medical card in. However, it is number one, we have to follow up. And when I say we, I'm adding ourselves to you guys. Someone has to follow up that the state got your medical card and it's registered. It's simple. You click a link, you go right there, you enter your birth date, your name, your driver's license number, last 4 of your social, and bing, you have it. Either you're registered or you're not.
Absolutely, Dave. And I have to throw out there the two, in a normal company, maybe that is your responsibility. That's your license, your medical card. If you didn't get it, you're not driving today. See ya. Go figure it out.
Right.
So we ran across the person that this had happened. He brought it to us. We have Linda lots of times that try to send the stuff in. We're sending it in. Guys, our office stopped for 2 days while we went through, and Ann and Joanne and Amber and Paula and everybody, dispatch helped out. We researched every one of your licenses individually to make sure your medical card was hooked up.
Yep.
And back to my old famous word, because that made us better. But it took our whole family, our whole team here at JFW to guarantee that we're on top of it.
Yep.
And we're going to do it better and more professional than our government, than other companies.
Yep.
And so, it goes out to my final thoughts here of, here's a shout out to our office, staff doing that for our drivers, because our bureaucracy can't do it correctly. So, and just to finish up, you guys, so out of service, we're at 2.5%. I don't know how, I guess.
For drivers, right?
For drivers, absolutely. Under the driver's column. I don't know how you get out of service 2 of 81, and that's 2.5%, but I guess I'd have to do some math to figure. That seems a little weird. But anyway, so national average, 6.4.
Wow.
National average, and we're at only 2.5.
Nice.
So even when we were audited, here's our stats, you guys. Did we have some shitty paperwork? Absolutely. But here's our stats of our safe drivers and our safe trucks.
Right.
I think we're going to drop that percentage to 0 with what we've been putting in place.
Yeah, with the new protocol, with how we're checking.
Yeah, we shouldn't get that.
We're checking DOT medical
we
cards.
shouldn't get that at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, stupid. Why? Because we want to be better, Jam, right?
We want to be great.
Yeah, we want to be great. So anyway, final thought. Thank you, guys. None of us can have this kind of performance without doing it all together. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
So how many drivers was it, Jim? What percent?
It was 81 inspections, Dave. 2 out of services, and they gave us 2.5%. Is that what?
So 81 times 3% is 2.43. So
Yes.
3%.
Yeah. So that doesn't even.
2.5 people
Yeah.
is what that equates to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.5 people out of those 81.
Yeah, I mean, 100 would be 2.
2. Yeah.
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 Right, so-
on that way.
81,
So, yeah.
2.5. I get that.
Yep.
Well, before you started, Jim, I wrote down the word appreciate, and we talk about this all the time, and I don't know how to express it, because at some point, I think people would think we just say these words and don't mean them, but I have to sit back and appreciate absolutely every person here. And I guess why I say that is, every person in dispatch, because that's where it starts. That's where the customer calls. That's where we get our loads. They've sold a bill of goods to our customers that now the drivers, each and every driver has to go out and make that delivery and do that job. Can they do that job without the mechanics servicing the trucks? Can they do that without, like Jam's words, there's 2 positions here. You're either a driver or driver support. We've said that many times. Jim and I are driver support. So to get the fuel here, so you guys have the fuel to go, to have the trucks clean. I mean, every single person we have to appreciate, and I do, Jim and I both do, because it takes everyone to make us better. To be where we're at, it takes every single person. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one. I mean, everybody that's trying to make us better makes us better. Right down to the wash bay, to the guy laying under the truck greasing it, to the person changing the tire, to the person behind the wheel, to the person, in our I call it HR, but billing, Ann, Joanne, I mean,
Noah,
Paula, Amber.
to Noah.
Yeah,
to
Noah.
I mean, he's fixing the toilet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
how important is that?
It's crucial to our success.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, everybody, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd stand behind that.
Yeah, where are we at on time, Jam? We got a long one going.
We're about 20 seconds away from 2 hours.
Wow.
Wow. So I don't know. Final thoughts. Final thoughts are supposed to be the end of it here. And Dave brings up a good point about appreciating people. Went to a funeral yesterday.
That's what helped make me think of it, Jim.
And there was a friend of ours' mother that passed away, and she mentioned to a couple of her friends she'd wish she'd done more with her life, and where does and I suppose final thoughts, that's lots of people's thoughts, what have you done with your life? And she passed away with that thought on her mind, and her family and friends got up, and the pastor also spoke about that what she mainly did was raise her kids, and then raised her kids' grandkids, her grandkids, or her kids' kids, her grandkids, And what more can you do with your life when you're educating and teaching and raising people, and how glorious and important, godlike can that be of raising and teaching another human being?
Right.
But you're just...
How is that not more important than a job?
Right.
Right.
That is a job.
Right. I mean, that is
Yes.
the ultimate job.
Yeah, and God, I hope that she's watching down from heaven, and I'm thinking she's not insignificant right now for what she did. But when I'm just a truck driver, no, you're not.
Yeah.
This is.
I just work in the wash bay.
Yeah.
I just grease trucks. I just do billing.
I'm just a grandmother. I just raised a couple of kids. Well, two of the grandkids, one's doing an internship as an attorney, and I don't know. We've used some great attorneys that without them, we'd been screwed, Dave.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's some, I don't even know the guy, but the what's the bulldog,
Oh, Brian the Bulldog Moore? think he's passed away.
He's wasn't great for our industry, maybe he was because there was trucking companies that weren't doing it right. And the other one's finishing up college.
Yeah.
And two great human beings along with their mothers, and so I don't know. Just adding to the final thought, you're not insignificant. You're not. What you do is so important, no matter what you do with it. And she did it with a smile and kindness and love.
Yep.
So good.
Unconditional.
And so you guys, we can all do that, and we can all be better. I guess that's my
Final
my final thought.
Final thought.
Final thought.
In finality.
Final answer.
Perfect. Well, good job, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate everybody listening, and we'll holla at you next week.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
thanks, everybody.
Have
Keep
a great-
listening, please.
Have a great rest of the week.
Yep.
Yep.